Hi, this is John Schubert, and I put together a quick video on how I took two different products, iTest and TestCenter, and made the two work together. Just a few configuration steps, so this should be very brief. Again, my name is John Schubert. You can reach me at 760-846-8830 or first.last at spirent.com. So JOHNSCHUBERT with a period in between them at spirent.com. This is taking iTest and integrating it with TestCenter. This assumes that you already have iTest installed and iTest is working independently on its own. You've gotten TestCenter installed and TestCenter is installed and working on its own. So if you've taken the two and then you create a new session within iTest that connects to TestCenter, out of the box, you're very likely to see this error that I've got just to the left of the blue arrow. It says the current tickle interpreter does not have the package required to access. So this is the problem that I had to solve, and here are the steps that I went through to solve them. So starting from the very beginning, you're going to want the iTest installation documentation. So if you go to general release, iTest velocity, and Windows 64-bit, and of course this is from the support.spirent.com website, you can see that there's quite a bit here, one of which is your iTest documentation. Whenever you download or whenever you click on that, you're going to be taken to this page. If you just remember this, doc 10692, this, if you put into the search knowledge base field, will bring you to this page, and you'll have all of the current release notes, as well as installation guides. So clicking on that installation guide then brings up to this page. Click on the PDF file, and 4 clicks later, you are now within the installation procedures. So there's multiple sections to it. This is jumping forward to where we're actually configuring the two to work together. So I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. Now, out of the box, depending on which test center that you originally installed, you may have Tickle or you may not. When I started with a 4 dot something release, Tickle was installed and I had no problems. I subsequently had to reimage my laptop, unfortunately, and I started with a 5 dot, I think it was 4, and I did not have Tickle installed. So within that same iTest documentation that I showed you, the installation guide, there's going to be a few charts that are important that you want to take a look at. One of them is going to be which versions of iTest are compatible with different software versions. So you want to look through that. In this case, it's saying that it said that 8.4 was compliant with Spirent Test Center 5.15. This I'm running on is 5.16. So 5.15 is the last that they've tested. So it should work in most cases with subsequent releases. So I'm okay there. Now, whenever I went to the Spirent website, this case I went to General Release Test Center. I knew that Tools is where I could find Tickle to out of the box work with TestCenter. You can get Tickle from other locations, but if you're just trying to keep your life simple, come here, support.com, support.spirent.com, general release, Spirent Test Center, tools, choose your flavor. In my case, it's 5.16. You can see there's 8.5.9 and .10. So referring back to this, you can see there is no .9, just .10. So I installed from this, the Tickle 8.6.10, and I was good to go from that. So one note, whenever I installed Tickle, I did have to restart Windows. Generally speaking, if you open up an MS-DOS prompt and type in TCLSH, you should get like a little change in the symbol. I forgot what it's called. It's a circle with a slash and another circle. If you get command not found or something like that, try restarting Windows, and that should cure the Tickle installation issue. So that's what fixed it for me. So once those 3 things are working to get on their own, then we can jump back over to the installation guide. So step 1, installing TestCenter on Windows. So I already had that up and working. And then you need to go into this package index.tcl file and then add this set directory. So the way that I quickly did that was I just copied here, and I'm running a Mac. So then I'm switching over to the VM, and I would just paste in whatever it was that I'm looking for. So in this case, package.tcl. So in my case, this top part is what was installed out of the box whenever iTest was installed. So I had to add this line, this set directory. So if you right click on a desktop shortcut to an application, so in this case, I've got a few for 5.11, 5.07, 4.1. So I went to .16, which is the one that I'm currently right clicked on it, got my properties, and then I was able to paste it in here. So if we looked back at the directions, they say configure this to set directory, and then that location in quotes. So C : program files, Spirent communications. In this case, I'm using my current version. So I do have .11 and others, but in this case, I just wanted to work with 1.6, and then close that or save it out, and you've completed that step. Jumping back to the software, so that's step 2. Now you need to go into your system variables and tell it how to find that TCL library path. So it's the path to that package index.tcl file that we just added above our installation path and set directory to TestCenter. And in this case, we want to create this TCL lib path environmental variable. So jumping back, the easiest way that I found is to just go into here and set environmental variable. And sometimes you have to play around and see what works. Set system variable. There we go, edit the system environment variables. So I double clicked on that, environmental variables. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on new, and you're gonna come down, and here's the one that I created. So I'm not gonna click new and create a new one. So we'll just hit this one and then hit edit, and then you can see it. So you're gonna type in, after you hit new, TCL lib path in all uppercase, and then you're gonna give it this variable. So if you use the Windows File Explorer, you can get the properties for this file location. Now we want to go back real quick. So you're going to paste it in there, but then you're going to have to make some changes. So if you look down on step 4, we need to put curly braces on the outside of it. If you have multiple paths, you need to put a space behind it. In my case, there was no multiple paths. And then we want to change every backslash to a /. So I had to go through here and change all of the backslashes to /. And then once you're done with that, hit OK again, and you've now done the first 4 steps. Now this last one with the bll.log file, I did a search of everything, and nowhere within Windows do I have this bll.log file. So I just skipped that step and everything seemed to be fine. So previously, whenever I hit start, before I did all that TCL, that's where I got the error message saying that the TCL was not found. So now that we've gone through and we've set that environmental variable, now it's gonna work. So the very first time that I did this, this kind of went away, and it was blank for like a good 30 seconds. So if you hit start and it seems to kind of go away for a few seconds, just be patient. It'll be back with you very, very shortly. And here in a moment, we're gonna see that it's connected to my C1 at .175. and that it reserved 2 ports. And then I could do things like start ARPs, I can start traffic, and I can do different things. So that's kind of outside of the scope of what I wanted to put in this video. So I just wanted to show you real quickly how to configure so that iTest could work with TestCenter. And I was hoping that this would work, and here we go. So we're good to go. This is my C1 connected to a Cisco 3560, and it's ready to go for automation with iTest. So any questions? Again, feel free to give me a call, 760-846-8830, or shoot me an email. So I thank you for your time, and I hope this was helpful. As always, feel free to shoot me any feedback, what was clear, what wasn't clear, how I can make this better. And I'll make this one better or any subsequent. So have a great day. Thanks.